Hello learners and welcome to a natural sciences lesson. So today we're going to be looking at an electric circuit and specifically a parallel circuit. So before we start, did you know that parallel circuits keep the lights on in our homes and ensure that different appliances, they continue to work even if other appliances are turned off? So in this lesson, we're going to be looking at a parallel circuit, what is constituted in a parallel circuit, and possibly other output devices that we find or that we may find in a parallel circuit. But before we get there, these are the things that I want us to be able to achieve by the end of the lesson. So firstly, by the end of this lesson, you should be able to explain what is a parallel circuit, and then also be able to explain the effect of resistors in parallel on the current and the resistance of the circuit. So you're going to be explaining the effect of resistors that are in parallel, what effect do they have on the current and also the resistance of the circuit. And then lastly, I want you to be able to draw circuit diagrams of a parallel circuit that has now the resistors and also other components. Now, as our main ideas, we have said that our main idea is going to be the parallel circuit because you're going to be specifically looking at that. We're going to start by looking at the components of an electric circuit and then specifically the parallel circuit. And then lastly, we're going to be looking at other output devices that we may find in a parallel circuit. Now, there are certain things that we know about electricity, about circuits in general. So these are the things that you should already know by now. Firstly, you should already know that an electric current is the movement of charge in a closed conducting circuit. Number two, an ammeter is a measuring device used to measure the electric current in the circuit. And then number three, as more resistors are added in series, the total resistance of the circuit increases. And then lastly, what you should already know by now is that if you add more resistors in series, the current in the whole circuit decreases. So if you add more resistors in series, the current of the whole circuit decreases. Now with this and also other things that we know, can we then be able to answer the following questions that are given to us? So we are now asked that we need to give one word answer for each of the following statements that are given here. Number one, what is a continuous path for electrical charges to flow? So we do know that these electrical charges, they flow in an electric circuit. So therefore, that continuous path, so the electric circuit provides a path for the electrical charges to flow. So this is going to be our electrical circuit. Then number two, what is the device used to measure current? So a device used to measure current, we do know that we use an ammeter to measure current. So a device that is used to measure current is an ammeter. And then thirdly, what are the negatively charged particles? So the negatively charged particles, we do know that we find them in an atom. And in an atom, we have a nucleus, and in the nucleus, you find the protons, which are positively charged, and the neutrons, which do not have a charge. And then around the nucleus, that's where now we find the electrons, which are negatively charged. They form an electron cloud around the nucleus, and they're always in orbit. So therefore, the negatively charged particles are your electrons. And then lastly, what is then the SI unit for electric current? So we do know that the current is measured in an ammeter and the units for the current is amperes, or A for short. So this is going to be amperes, or A for short, to show that we are talking about the amperes. So with this now in mind, there are certain words that you're going to be using throughout the lesson to better explain what we mean by a parallel circuit and also what we find in a parallel circuit. So words such as electrons, a parallel circuit, electric circuit, and electric current. So we're going to be making use of these words to better explain the entire lesson that you're going to be going through in this time that we have with you today. So before we start and go to our first concept, we're just going to go quickly for a short break, and I will see you just after this.